Hey everybody, it's Bruce from Nature Calls, and this is my new Cloud 71 hammock. It's a new fabric that came out from Dutchware Gear. I'm looking to make your own gear area, but it's a new fancy dancy. It's kind of like right in between bug netting and fabric. So I'll show more close-up shots in just a minute, but of course I had to make a hammock, and I've got plenty of how to make hammocks the way I do, but let's take a quick look at the end product. Just got my latest shipment in from Dutchware Gear, and it's their Cloud 71 fabric. Very cool. That's just, you can just see right through that. That is just amazing. I got kind of a green. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it looks black to me. This is the monolight from Stop by the Roll, which also is just fantastic. And it might just be the color, but this is just see-through as can be. Now on the Cloud 71, they use a 20 denier monofilament in there, and I don't know what they use in the 1 ounce Ripstop by the Roll stuff. You can definitely, the hand, the feel between the two, this is a little stiffer, no doubt, not a ton. See if I can get you guys up close, but this is a monolight hammock that I built. So now personally, I built this hammock. I've used it a few times, but personally, I like other like Hyper D. That's just my own personal preference. But I am going to make a hammock out of this just because that's what I have to do. So let's see if we can get some closer looks of the two fabrics. Now this is the Cloud 71. On this side, you can see how nice that is. Very nice. And this is the monolight. So hopefully you can see the grid on the monolight is smaller and closer together than the grid on the Cloud. But it looks like on the Cloud, they actually have 2 threads going that direction and 1 going that one, where there's just 1 going in each direction on this. So trying to overlap them a little bit. This definitely is a little bit more pliable than this one. Not a ton. I mean, compared to, this feels like regular. That feels very, very pliable. It looks like 2 threads going that direction. So that would be, so the 2 threads are going the long way, not the short width way. So I'm going to do my normal how to build a hammock, the way I build hammocks, and I'll leave a link so you don't have to go through all this before. I've made dozens of hammocks and showed you how to do it. But I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm just going to do a rolled ham all the way around, and then I'll put together my normal soft shackles and whippy slings and all that kind of stuff. And we'll go do a side-by-side hang test, I guess, of the two. So now the one thing is I've seen similar fabrics to both of these, and they're very, very similar. And what's nice, if you're into like snow camping, snow-oriented tents, instead of having like bug no-see-em, they'll have something like this, which has like a DWR on it, and it's less apt to have any snowdrift come through. So on the roof of the tents, where there's ventilation, where you want your condensation to go out, they have material like this up there instead of the bug no-see-em type mesh. I've seen a lot of people are using both of these for things like stuff sacks. I know the monolight is actually downproof, so you could use that as a quilt or a coat. I don't see that because I use other materials for that. I don't necessarily want to see through and see all the feathers. Plus there's lighter materials that you can use. There's lots of different things you can do. People are making like the side pockets of their ultralight backpack out of this stuff. There's a lot you can do. So they are see-through, so if you're going to make any kind of garment out of it, you'll be able to see through it, definitely. Maybe that's your thing. I don't know. So let's go ahead and sew this up and get it in hammock form. And I'll weigh the two of them together, weigh each one of them without any stuff on them, any suspension systems on them. And we'll see if they're similar or a big gap. But I'll build it basically exactly the same way I normally build one. All right, so this isn't scientific or anything. This is both of these hammocks, so both the Monolight and the Cloud are both 12 or 4 yards. I didn't measure them or anything like that. I'm just getting a general difference in weight. So the Monolight hammock weighs 7.6 ounces without any of the suspension, and the Cloud weighs 5.1 ounces. There is the nice sheerness of the hammock. So if you like to have sheer, this is definitely awesome. Did my normal suspensions that I normally do, and I'll put links to those as well. In the back is my Monolight hammock, which is very similar, and this is what Ripstop by the Roll came out with last year, I think, sometime. And it's a hammock that I used a couple times. But to be honest, with each one of these, I personally really like regular, like Hyper D type fabric. I find it much slicker. But let's do some get-in lay-in tests. I have it right around that 220 mark, and that's one of the things that I know Dutch put out in his ads in the very beginning, is how much this can weigh, and it has a 20D monofilament as its strength giver, I guess. So it's a ripstop style. Let's do a lay. Okay, yeah, first off, it has a nice little bit of stretch and give. Pretty much reacts just like all my hammocks. I like a little bit of stretch. I don't like the real stiff hammocks personally, so this has just a real nice stretch to it. Let's check out the Monolight one, see if it's much different. This is a Monolight, and say between the two, stretch is very similar. Let's see, this has more of a consistent stretch all the way through, where the Cloud, you can see where it stretches, say, a little bit more, like, say, where my head is, which is kind of nice to have that. A lot of these things are real subtle, so when you're sleeping, it's nice to be able to have your head. Like, this does have enough stretch. That definitely, I think, has a little bit more. I think it's, where I put my head is always a big deal for me, where my heels hit. But this is nice as well. So, and it handles my weight just fine. Yeah, I'd say if you're into these mesh style hammocks, this is definitely a winter fabric. I'd say it's definitely gonna do a lot of people really well. It's definitely got a nice edge on the weight. Costs about 50 cents more per yard. But, when you're into DIY stuff, it's not that big a deal. No, this is very, very nice. I really like it. And then we'll be seeing some nice hangs this year. Okay, talk to you later. Bye now.